Hey everyone, Kristen David here, and we wanted to talk a little bit today about accountability versus micromanagement. Such a big issue, especially in the world of staffing and hiring and leadership. It is definitely one of those areas that we've all been a part of, whether we've been on the receiving end or on the other side. On one hand, we want accountability. On the other hand, we're invested in trying to make sure it's done correctly. How many of you have been there, right? Give me some love in the chat, in the notes, in the comments. Say, heck yeah, if you have dealt with this issue of whether on the receiving end or the leadership side of dealing with this spectrum between accountability and micromanagement. And that's what we're going to spend some time here today. Happy Monday to you all. Again, micromanagement is one of those things where nobody likes it, but it's hard sometimes you want things done right. You want to get it completed. And so how do you find that easy momentum between the two? So give me a thumbs up, give me some love if you've dealt with micromanagers in your past. And all of this stems from a great conversation with my team. In fact, our accountability coach, Victoria Sizalgi, is amazing. And she touches on this specifically. I know she was talking with some other team members as well about where micromanagement comes from and how to avoid it, how to get in front of it, so to speak. Definitely something we all need to hone our skill at. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what is micromanagement. Well, it's when you're an employer, a supervisor, someone above you or to the side of you comes in and has this need to check on every single little component, right? And micromanaging comes from a lack of self-trust, a lack of trust in your employees or your team. And so we really need to help with that mindset shift. And this happens when you hire great people. You don't have to worry as much. Do they know? When you onboard people is such a key part to making sure they know what they're doing. So thank you, Krista. Yes, this is a great topic. It's something we all grapple with. I know I do especially. I want it done right, but I want the team to step up. And so again, this is an area, everyone, where if you've got amazing hiring processes and onboarding university, this is a big part of where micromanagement doesn't have to be as prominent, because if everyone knows how to do it right, if they learn correctly how you want it done in the first place, it's not going to be that big problem that often we find ourselves in when somebody's not doing it the right way. So keep that in the back of your mind. Hiring processes and onboarding university, key to getting in front of this. But for today, let's talk again just a little bit about you need that mindset shift that comes with recognizing you've got to have great people and you've got to trust them to step up. You've got to understand what's inside of myself that's causing me to not trust this person to do this job. You want to support them. You want to give them the tools, but we don't want to parachute in. Otherwise, we're teaching our team forever and always to just give up, knowing that the owner is going to parachute in and try to take care of it. So we've got to grapple with this happy medium in between. You want your business to succeed. You want the best of the best. And yes, your reputation is important, but you also have to let people work on this and step up and make it work themselves. So keep in mind, everyone, you've got to always be looking at this from two perspectives. You've got the employee perspective, and then you've got the leader perspective, right? Employee is often saying, hey, just explain it, delegate it, tell me what the end goal is, let me go do it, and let me know that you're there to support me if I need it, right? That's often the employee feeling. If they feel that they need some more support, we need to give them an environment where they can say, I need more support, right? The leader perspective is we want it done and we want it done right and we want it done perfect. And if we're not getting verbal cues or like body language cues that the person gets it, we often, or we don't see proof that it's getting done, that's where the leader often will start to micromanage and jump back in. It's because we're not getting that reassurance that this is happening the way we want. And this is a key part of accountability versus micromanagement, right? This is where it's going to be that difference between giving them tools and supporting them versus micromanaging and making sure every step happens correctly. Now, there's something to be said about the first 1 or 2 times someone does something, you let them know you're supporting more than you normally would. And then you got to back off. Again, you got to pull the training wheels off, let them go on that first bicycle ride. And if they fall and scrape their knee, so be it. They're going to get back on. They're going to learn. They're going to be stronger for it. So a little bit of this is having the just belief system in your team. They can do it. So I wanted to cover today 3 tips for how to transition into more accountability in your team, to get away from the micromanagement and to get to that place where you feel confident as an owner or as a manager that your team is going to step up and do an amazing job. Okay? So 3 things that are going to help build more accountability in your team. Number 1, speak their language. This seems so simple, but it's something we don't always do. So everyone learns and responds differently, right? I'm a visual learner. Some people are more auditory. Some people like to read. Some people are tactile. They need to be taking notes while they listen, and then they need to do it to make it make sense for them. So speak the language to that. This is part of know your employees, right? Understand them and their styles and who they are. Everyone learns differently. There are different communication styles. I am off of I use myself of a pretty open book, guys. I am a D-dominant personality, and that's because I'm constantly in there wanting to see results, get it done. The other people have different types of personalities, and they respond to different communication styles. So again, this is part of knowing your team. In order to set up success and put the framework in for accountability, you want to make sure that you give them this opportunity and you speak their language. Again, give them the tools they need. So it's kind of like if it's somebody who's very independent, an employee that they just need the facts and the information, great. You give them the facts, you tell them why we're doing this bigger thing, you give them the information, you let them know that we're going to be around if you need more support and we're happy to give it more to you, but we're going to let you go work on this. That person's going to thrive. Versus if that person's communication style, personality style is much more, they love the team approach, the collaboration. They're not going to do as well if you put them in a room all by themselves, right? You've got to be speaking their language, giving them the surroundings so they thrive. So again, get to know your team. And when you delegate, when you give opportunities, present it in a way that it makes sense and don't micromanage over them. Make sure they understand what it is you want and communicate well with them. That will go a long way. Number 2 is be clear on the mission and your goals. Listen, you can delegate, give it to them in their language, their style, but if they're not really clear on like that end goal over here that we want, they're never really going to get, they'll go from point A to point B, but not necessarily to point C or D, right? Like you've got to, if you really want them to be vested in taking ownership of the project and running with it and running the right direction, right? Then we know we know that they can do an amazing job. It's kind of like sports, everybody. it's like you have to have rules of a game, whether it's football or soccer or, whatever it is. You have an end goal. Everybody knows, red team starts off and they're heading this way and blue team's going this way. And those are the rules of the game. Everybody knows what the channel is. They've got their framework. That's part of good delegation and good accountability in a team. They need to know what the end goal is. What are they trying to get to? That way, it's not just the short-term game. It's the long game that they're really after, that they're really helping with. So tip number 3 for creating accountability with your team: scorecards. Scorecards. Yes, I love KPIs and scorecards. Almost everyone on my team has scorecards. It's what gives everyone that sense of exactly what needs to be done. And are they getting an A? Are they nailing it? Are they doing what we need them to do so they can do their part to contribute as a team member to the bigger team goals, to the department goals? So scorecards also not only hold them accountable, here's what they need to do to move this forward this week. It also puts everyone on the same page and lets you celebrate the successes, right? When you see a scorecard that's 90% filled out yeses, celebrate that. Be excited about that. And gently come in and say, how can we help support you to give you that last little bit of juice that you need, of support or guidance, so you can get an A+ on those other categories as well. Listen, people will do more when they feel like they're thriving, when they're in the right place, when they're doing really good job on most of it. They just need to fine tune a little bit. If all you ever do is focus on the 1% they do wrong and you're coaching on it, right? After a while, it's not enjoyable. That's not a good place to live and thrive. So you want to support your team and create that accountability, but you want to celebrate the high points too. And a scorecard lets you do that. Scorecards also let you look week over week. How are they doing? Are they on track? Maybe it was just 1 week that was off. Maybe they've consistently been off and you need to have a harder discussion with them. That's an important part of accountability. So again, everyone, you're looking at trying to really build the team up so that they feel good about what they do. They know what is in their area, and always being aware of different perspectives that are going to help us to get to know one another. This is part of diversity and inclusion, and recognizing that everyone learns differently. Everyone grew up with different belief systems. Every one of us brings something to the table. And when you have that kind of contribution and collaboration, that's a team that gels. That's a team that you can assign and hold them accountable, but know that they're always vested in growing and making a better team. So give me some thumbs up if this is making sense, guys. Add in the chat below in your comments, what's an example of accountability versus micromanaging that you've seen happen in your career? You don't have to take it upon yourself. It could be something you witnessed from afar, but share in the comments something that you've seen, whether it's accountability that you thought was wonderful, whether maybe you love the ideas we talked about here with the scorecards and speaking their language, or whether it's maybe on the more negative side, some micromanaging you've seen and you thought, wow, that manager missed the boat. That didn't give a good experience. Or maybe it was when you were early in your career and someone micromanaged you. And it really can really turn an entire relationship very fast. So it's something we need to, as business owners, CEOs, managers, leaders, always be looking to hone our skills on accountability and leadership, and building up that hiring processes and onboarding university. People know how to do the job expected of them. That's when it's so much easier to hold people accountable. and not fall into this micromanagement category. Making sense, guys? Awesome. Give me a little love in the chat and the thumbs up. We always love to see those extra hearts, extra thumbs on Facebook and on different platforms. So again, share your biggest moment from your career where you've seen either some great accountability or some micromanagement lessons that you hope to never emulate. All right, guys. Happy Monday. Have a good and productive week. We'll talk to you soon.